Imagine you're in a sinking rowboat surrounded by sharks. How would you survive?
I can't imagine that. I won't even get up in the morning to do my morning cardio. So much as row a boat into the middle of shark-infested oceans. That's just not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening.
Well, according to the common sense riddle, the answer is stop imagining. So I think you've got some common sense.
Well, my mama wouldn't agree with you, but cool, I'll take it. Hey y'all, it's Onika
and J.R.
and you are dishing with Dainty Dish. How you doing, J.R.?
I'm doing like garbage.
Like garbage? You kind of look like garbage.
Yes, I know. Yeah, first 2 days off in like 6 months, and I'm sick.
You can catch a cold.
Yep.
That's okay. It'll pass. This too shall pass, J.R.
Yeah.
Other than that, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I finished my improv class, level A, so I'm going to do level B. I'm also joining a dodgeball league.
Ooh.
Yeah, for the summer. That's going to be pretty cool. What else am I doing? I moved into my new space. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago, but
yes, this happened, guys. It is not a rumor.
Yeah, it's not a rumor. It's official, and now we're here. We're recording in our new home.
Yes.
So that's cool. We're finally back recording where I'm comfortable.
No more yellow walls.
No more yellow walls. Oh my goodness.
We've upgraded
to white walls.
To white walls and a very sexy couch.
Oh yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it because I can sweep underneath it.
Oh God, you're so practical. Guys, the couch is sexy regardless of whether you can sweep underneath it. It's just a nice couch.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
With that said, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just got over an eye infection. It's like never ending. You saw it. It was gross, but I'm over it. Other than that, other than my eye infection, I went to Whitby last week to see my Mama Dainty. Papa Dainty's out of town, so I kind of snuck in for a couple of days.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. Saw little sis, and I saw my niece.
Oh yeah, you saw? Oh, okay. I was about to say her name. I'm like, woo, dude, pull that back, pull it back.
Yeah, so I saw my niece. She's losing her teeth. It's so cute. She has like no front teeth now. She just lost one, and my mom was responsible for being the tooth fairy this year.
Oh, okay.
So she was supposed to put the money under the pillow and then take the tooth. But at 3:00 in the morning, my niece wakes my mom up. She put the money under. So 3:00 in the morning, my niece wakes my mom up and says, "Grandma, the tooth fairy came, but she forgot to take my tooth."
Oh, jeez.
And so then at 5:00 in the morning, my mom snuck in and took like the tooth. So she gets up in the morning and my niece says to my mom, "Grandma, guess what? The tooth fairy came back and took my tooth." And I'm like, goodness. I was dead because she doesn't believe in Santa Claus. She does not like jolly old fat white guy coming to give me presents. I don't think so. Whatever. But the tooth fairy, she's committed to that. Maybe because of the money part. Maybe. I don't know, but she's committed to the tooth fairy.
She's counting her teeth. She's like $3 a tooth. I got a bunch of them. That's like a new PlayStation.
She's like, that's a new LOL doll.
It's a new LOL doll.
It's a new LOL doll.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so but it was a good visit. And I've been selling my books. Sold one to my therapist today. It was mental health day. So I sold one to my therapist. He said he's going to show it to some of his patients, which is pretty cool.
That's wicked. Well, you're a positive influence, a positive example of, someone who's conquering their mental health challenges.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah, take a bow.
Thank you. I will. I will. But curious about that question at the beginning of the podcast. What was that all about?
That was just, I like riddles and, common sense kind of things. So I thought that we would today maybe we could talk about common sense and stuff. Because, I've asked you a bunch of riddles before we started.
Yes.
And you failed miserably. I
did. I have no common sense.
Yeah, some months have 30 days, some have 31. How many have 28?
February. 1.
Seriously? Oh,
no, 3.
All of them have 28 days.
No, Onika,
all of them have 28 days.
All of them have 28 days. I don't like these riddles. I'm not a riddler.
Yeah.
I don't do riddles very well. And I probably, like my mama says, common sense has always been a struggle for me. Like,
so where do you think common sense comes from then?
I would think that it comes from our experiences.
Okay.
I think it's about shared values as well, the values that we share with our families. And, you know, even the influence of relationships that we have in friends. So I'd say it comes from a lot of different things.
So you're saying that everyone's, so there's no such thing as common sense then?
No.
It's unique to the individual.
I would say so. I would say that, I don't know, I feel like the decisions that I make that are based on common sense, it's things that it's common sense that I was taught somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I feel the same way about a lot of things. Yeah.
It's not something that comes naturally to me. It's not nature, it's nurture. You know, that's what common sense is, and it could be dangerous.
Yeah. I want to know where you're going with that, but yeah, it could be.
I mean, if you're making decisions like, should I leave the toilet seat up or down after I use it, and use your common sense and say leave it down, that's one thing. But if you're deciding the fate of an entire nation, or you're deciding the fate of a person, or anything like that, like anything serious, like anything that really, really matters, you shouldn't be using common sense. It should all be based on education. It shouldn't be guesswork. And I think a lot of common sense is guesswork on people's part.
Now, you said something interesting there that it probably doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but you said the toilet seat, leaving it up or down. Now, why don't women look at the toilet seat before they use it?
Now, that's a common sense question, sir.
I'm just saying.
That's a common sense question, because we just figure because it should be down.
Because every guy looks at the toilet seat and says, I'm going to lift it up.
Why can't he look at the same toilet seat and say, I'm going to put it down?
Why can't you leave it lifted up?
Because the toilet seat's supposed to be down.
Says who?
Well, if you're in my house, the toilet seat is down.
But this is a choice. Like, okay, I'm a male that lives by myself, and I just so happen to have my toilet seat down, right?
Which is very polite of you.
But I'm not doing it for you. It's just that's something that I was trained, and that's part of my common sense, I guess.
And your values and the things you were taught.
Yeah, well, my dad left the toilet seat down, so like that was something that I learned, right? Like, you know, my mom never. I don't think I've ever heard my mother complain about having a toilet seat up or down in my entire life.
I just feel it's so ungentlemanly. Like, if you're living with a female, like, you should just put the toilet seat down, because we could fall into toilet water. Like,
but why don't you look before you sit?
What if it's in the middle of the night, though?
You're not gonna look?
I don't turn the lights on in the middle of the night when I go to the bathroom. I just kind of squat. Like, I just kind of sit.
So in that
so
case,
I can fall in.
So in that case, then you'd be okay with a man just peeing on the toilet seat in the middle of the night because he didn't look?
No, because by my age, a man should have aim in the dark or the light.
See, you're putting all this.
That's just common sense.
You're putting all these requirements on the man. You're basically sitting back saying, as a woman, you don't have to do anything.
All we ask is you put the toilet seat down. Is that too much to ask?
But all we ask is for you to put the toilet seat up. Is that too much to ask? No, all we ask for you to is look before you sit down. Actually, that's actually what we're asking you to do. Is that too much to ask? To look, to pay attention to what you're doing? Is that too much to ask? Is it? Is it really?
Is it?
Is it?
It feels like it to me.
Like asking you to just pay attention to what you're doing.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds like common sense.
I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
You just got to look before you leap.
I guess. Well, common sense isn't always that common. Isn't that what both our mamas say?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they got that from Gran, I think.
Probably. Smart woman.
Very smart woman.
So what kind of, like, I know there's a bunch of things, like, when it comes to, you know, common sense etiquette. I'm gonna coin that phrase. Is that
etiquette? Yeah.
Common sense etiquette, like, for the purpose of this podcast.
Sure.
That annoy me. Elevators. People that live on the second floor that get on the elevator without groceries.
Ooh, or a cane or a walker.
Trust me.
I say something. I make a noise.
I don't say anything.
You know what? I live in the ghetto, so I can. They expect it.
Because the thing
they
is,
expect the rudeness.
I now live in a 30-story building, and I live on the 5th floor. And every time I get in the elevator, I typically am the person that's getting off first. So I can't, I don't know. I can't really.
No, but second floor, that's just when I'm going, if I'm in a rush going down the elevator, I'm trying to get to work or something, and it stops at the second floor, and I don't see a cane, a walker, some type of heavy machinery, a box, something in your hand that says, I couldn't walk down 2 flights of stairs, 1.5 flights of stairs. Yeah. I'm going to roll my eyes and be like, oh, like all them noises are coming out of my mouth.
And it's always classic because whenever someone really thinks they're getting off, like when you think the elevator is going to, like once you pass the 4th floor and you're on an elevator and you're going down, you typically think it's not stopping till you get to the ground. It's not stopping
until you get to the ground.
And then sometimes it just stops and you start to walk off and you're like, wait a minute, why am I on the 2nd floor?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know. I don't know why people do it. I don't know. But you got any of them?
Escalators. Escalators are the worst for me because I work in a mall.
Yeah.
So I got to go up and down a lot of those, things. And you're supposed to be, the standing side is the right side. And then the left side is the walking side. So when people are blocking the walking side, sometimes when I don't even want to walk, because I don't like walking or standing. Those are my 2 least favorite things in the world. So I just like to sit. But you're ridiculous. If I have to, sometimes just for the sake of moving those people out of the way, I'll start walking. I'll move out from the line, from the stand-up line, and start walking just so they know they're in the wrong place.
Wow. So here's the thing. When you're in a mall, I'm kind of okay with no one walking. Because you're in a mall. You can't be that much of a rush.
If you're going to work, you are.
You should have planned in advance. But on transit though, like on the subway, going to the subway, I'm a firm believer in stand to right, walk on left. So I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think there's that one's like, it depends on where you are.
The worst escalators are the ones where there's no option. Like, the decision makers are the people in front of you. So you can have a bunch of walkers and then all of a sudden get a stander. I'm a stander. I'm a person who
I know
stops
you
traffic.
do that. You do it. Yeah, it annoys me. But
then I'm saying to myself, there's a set of steps right beside you, dude. So if you didn't want the moving stairs, you should have gotten the stationary stairs and walked up those.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm saying to you. That's why I'm standing right here and I'm not moving until we get to the top.
Ooh. Okay. Fair enough. Well, since you're on a roll, is there anything else etiquette-wise?
Bus etiquette.
Okay.
My irritations, because I do this. I'm not going to lie. I sit in the handicap seat sometimes.
See, you're a jerk. You're a jerk.
I get up when someone
No. You're a jerk.
No, I get up when someone is in need, but I sit in the handicap seat sometimes. I just said it. I like to sit. Nah, I'll crawl over a crying baby to get to a seat. Like, I like to sit.
Wow.
I'm serious. I work hard. I work in retail. I stand on my feet for 8 hours sometimes a day. I like to sit. Okay? So if I see an empty blue seat, I won't go out of my way to sit in blue seats. But if there's an empty one and there's like a fat guy on one side and like, you know what I mean, a woman with like 18 bags on the other, I'll squish in between. Because at some point, all 3 of us have got to get up if someone in need comes.
True.
See what I'm saying? Like, that seat's a giveaway. Like, 2 people are already sitting right there. So that's how I sit. Not just like going to the blue. I always go to the red first.
I don't know. I feel like we gotta follow like the New York City transit like style.
What do they do in New York?
Well, when I was there, every day I was on this transit there, no one sat in those seats. It didn't matter if you were like, elbow to elbow or it was empty. No one sat in those seats. The designated seats for those people that have whatever disabilities, babies, the works, whatever. Yeah,
children or something like that.
I mean, so I think we need to follow that. I mean, yeah.
And it's so weird. Toronto's so polite. It's shocking.
Since when?
I find Toronto polite. Every time I bump into someone, I say I'm sorry. They say they're sorry. Like,
because you said you're sorry first.
We don't even know who did what. And we'll say
it's
sorry.
a habit. Like, I say sorry all the time, like, especially after working in hospitality.
Do you think Drake still does it?
Who?
Drake. Do you think Drake still says
what are you asking me about Drake for?
Because we were just listening to his album.
So that's on my mind now?
No, that was on my mind.
Oh, it's on your mind. Okay.
It was on my mind.
What would
sorry.
Drake do?
What would WWDD?
Yeah, that's I don't know. I have no idea what Mr. Aubrey Graham would do.
But back to common sense.
Yeah.
Sorry for that interruption.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool.
But I think some of it, when we were talking earlier about it being about your values, the ones that you get from home or from your families, it also comes from education and some of the things you learn in schools.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, you know what? A colleague of mine and I were having a conversation maybe a couple of weeks ago where, you know, we were talking about how we understand technology and, you know, we have this mindset where people should be at this specific level. And when people aren't, we kind of get like frustrated. Mm-hmm. Because we're like, this should be common sense to you. But the reality is, no, it's not. And it shouldn't be. I mean, you haven't experienced this. Mm-hmm. So sometimes common sense isn't that common, and we need to be we need to be
mindful of that.
We need to follow the golden rule and treat people the way we want to be treated. So if someone doesn't understand something, educate them, help them.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should know when World War I started, but like, I also have history behind. Like, I have a degree in it, so I get that people don't know. Or I think everyone should know the old Canada, and not everyone knows it, especially not the new version. So
they changed like 2 words.
They changed 2 words. It was ridiculous. Like, whatever. I'm not even gonna go there.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I mean, I think it's Canada. You know,
it's Canada. We're
like,
very inclusive. I get it.
That's what we are. Like, come on. Like, you and I would not be sitting here if Canada was not an inclusive.
It's true.
Country.
We just ate a very unhealthy lunch, and on the McDonald's carton, it had on the McDonald's the French fries. It had the gay pride, because that is great Gay Pride Month. It had it on the French fries. So we're very inclusive as a people.
Yeah, when's the Pride Parade in a couple weeks, right? Maybe a week or so. Yeah. Cool. So are we headed there?
Yeah, we're headed there.
Right,
we're headed there.
Yeah, that's cool.
For sure. Yeah, but as I was saying, with education, it's not just about the education piece. Mm-hmm. It's about what are you learning and who are you learning from that's contributing to your thoughts, your beliefs, and your experiences. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, I guess that leads to relationships. Right?
It
does.
Because, I mean, I can look back now a year removed from... removed. I love that.
A year removed.
From my relationship with my marriage. And I look back now and I could be like, okay, well, there were things that I thought were common sense. And I would get frustrated when it was like this person just didn't understand. Mm-hmm. But, it also went vice versa, right? Like, there was times where there's things that, she expected that I wasn't fulfilling, mm-hmm. So, and we both thought it was common sense. And in that regard, common sense can be learned through communication. And it's very misleading. Well, yeah, it is misleading. Yeah, you're right. But you can rectify it through, communication. That's true. Yeah. That's true. If you have that, then maybe some of the differences in what you believe, because when one person believes something so strongly, mm-hmm. like let's say you have a belief, I don't know, that oranges are blue. Like mm-hmm. you believe oranges are blue, and mm-hmm, I believe mm-hmm. oranges are yellow. And we're saying, no, this is common sense. Like, it's my belief and it's your belief, and we both believe it so strongly mm-hmm. that if we're not communicating with one another, we're never going to figure out whether oranges are blue, yellow, or orange. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think it's when you hold those beliefs so close to you, that's where that common sense thinking can fail you. Okay, yeah. Because you're not open to the idea of the other possibilities. You just opened a can of worms, because that's kind of like the whole our black community, right? Like, I growing up, it was all inclusive. You stick to yourselves, you don't venture out, and then that was common sense, right? And then don't tell white people your business. That was common sense, right? And then all of a sudden now you go into this world and you see that not all the things that you were told aren't necessarily truth. No. right? And so now your view of common sense is now warped.
It's skewed.
It's skewed, and you have to generate a new version of common sense
to fit into the world.
You're
currently
living in, right?
Yeah.
You have to adapt. I don't know. When it comes to being adaptable, in our environment here, I gotta thank my parents. Like that's for putting me in this position to actually learn new things and have a different perspective.
I'm grateful to my mom. I'm very grateful to my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. For taking me from a world where I know I wouldn't have been able to exist in.
What do you mean?
I mean, I love Guyana. Don't get me wrong. Like since we're going to have this conversation about gratitude, I wanted to say I'm grateful to Guyana.
Okay. We're going to okay.
Yeah. I thought we just jump over to gratitude.
Okay.
I'm grateful to Guyana because I that's my homeland. But with everything that has happened in my life, I couldn't imagine experiencing that outside of Canada. So I might be Guyanese born, but I'm Canadian bred. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm even more grateful to Canada for everything they have given to me. Mm-hmm. So I thank my mom. Like, yeah, I mean, Papa Dainty had something to do with it too. He brought us up here, but I think about the Burbies Madhouse.
I think we spoke about that a little bit.
Yeah. That's where I would be if I was in Guyana right now with the condition that I have. Like, I'm just so grateful for all of the support and all the resources that I have living here in Canada, living in Ontario specifically. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I'm just grateful for that. And you were saying you have gratitude for your parents.
Yeah, I mean, for at least putting me in a position where I can be born in this country and be raised here, born and bred. Taken. I know you were there when I saw. I've traveled and I've seen poverty, mm-hmm. but when you go and see your parents' poverty, mm-hmm. That's an eye-awakening moment. It's one of those times where you're like, oh wow, you guys have sacrificed so much for me. And for yourselves and for your families, and you've been poor, you've lived in poverty. Mm-hmm. Right now I live in a what is this, like 400 square feet? I think maybe like 450 square feet. I think, like, whatever. It's tiny.
It's tiny, guys. It's tiny,
but it's bigger than the shack that
they all 11 kids
grew up in. Right, so that's nuts.
That's just, it's wild seeing 111. That's our 111 Albert. Yeah, it's wild. It makes me honestly think of, like, I was on my way here today and I saw a homeless man and he was just like lying starfishing on the street and just sleeping. Mm-hmm. And I acknowledge that. Like, I might not give them money every time or whatever, but I acknowledge that they exist. And I acknowledge that because I know there's been times in my life that I could have been there. Yeah. If I didn't have support, if my family finally just said, forget about it, we're done with her and her shenanigans and we're over it. I could have been there. 2016, I could have been there, homeless on the streets. And it's a scary, scary thought. And I'm just grateful again for my support system, for my team, mm-hmm. making sure that I didn't land in the streets.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. Your team is you're grateful for that whole team. I mean,
for the team, if they're listening, and I know some of them are listening, thank you so much. You know who you are.
Yeah, thanks for the support.
Other than family, what are you grateful for?
Money. But I'll elaborate on that.
Elaborate.
Well, I mean, it's I'm grateful for the opportunity to be educated, to get an education here. Mm-hmm. My parents said that education is what you need to be successful in this country. Mm-hmm. So they gave me the opportunity to get educated, and with that, I was able to work hard and set goals and pursue goals, and with that comes money.
Yes.
Right. We're not talking a lot of it, but just enough to, survive, but I'm grateful for the fact that I can live on my own in Toronto.
Oh, Lord, but I'm grateful for that.
Right? Like, I can live by myself in my own place in Toronto. I'm grateful.
I moved here 3 years ago. I'm never leaving. Like, the suburbs make me itchy. Being in Whitby made me real itchy. Like, just itchy. Oh, but yeah, I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful for the fact that I can live in Toronto as well on my own without roommates or a significant other.
Yeah, I find that, like, it's one of the things, like, I'm meeting a lot of people now through the different, like, programs and courses and through my work. Mm-hmm. And one thing I'm finding is that a lot of people, in order to live in Toronto, they're shacking up with their significant others.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like we meet today, we've dated for a couple of days, we're going to move in together. Mm-hmm. And it's like, whoa.
All for the city. All for the love of the city.
All for the love of the city.
The city.
And that's interesting. I mean, I'm not in that dynamic. So I'm not sure how that works.
I'm not either. And that's where the gratitude comes in. I've got an attitude of gratitude. I've heard that so many times in, like, groups and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to have an attitude of gratitude. You have to keep a gratitude journal. And I might not write it down, but I'll at least say to myself every day, like, a few things that I'm grateful for. Mm-hmm. Like, just, like, in the morning, just, like, when I wake up, it's kind of like the way I pray. Okay, like, I'll have, like, a conversation with the big guy in the sky, and then I'll have a conversation with my grandma, and then I'll just, like, say what I'm grateful for, and then that's how I start my day.
Okay. My day kind of starts with some tea and meditation, but...
But even when you're meditating, do you find, like, you're thinking about things that you're grateful for?
I'm not thinking about anything.
You're not thinking about anything?
No. Empty space.
Empty space.
Empty space, man.
Empty space. I have trouble meditating because I think too much.
It's taken a while to kind of get to a point where I can kind of escape. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start yoga again. I found a yoga studio nearby.
Ooh.
So I'm going to go check that out. No more yoga mats in the middle of my...
Your living room floor?
Living room floor. But yeah.
We didn't talk about our friends.
What about them?
I'm grateful for my friendships. The ones that have lasted.
Oh, so am I. Oh my gosh, absolutely.
The ones that have lasted the test of time.
Yeah, yeah, especially through this last year, what I've been going through, I mean, a year and a bit, and I'm happy for the people that are still around. I'm happy for the people that I've met. I'm happy for the people that are, I'm going to meet. Yeah, friends are cool. I'm totally grateful for having a small but very, very, I guess, influential, powerful, respectful group of friends.
I have 6 solid girlfriends. Mm-hmm. I call them my best friends. And they know who they are. And they've been through everything with me. Like, some of them I've known since I was 10, 11.
Oh yeah?
And they're still around. And I appreciate, like I said, family, but friends are the family that you choose for yourself.
Oh yeah, you pick your friends.
You pick your friends and you pick them wisely, and that would be my suggestion to anyone out there who's having any challenges with their friendships. You got to pick them wisely and be grateful when they stand by your side during, trials and tribulations and difficulties. But that's what all of those things today is what I'm most grateful for.
Deal.
And that has been the dish of the day. Of common sense, or you want to share with us why you have an attitude of gratitude, JR, tell them how they can reach us.
Most definitely. You can reach us at dysh, dysh, at daintydysh.com. That's daintydysh.com. You can also check out Onika on Instagram at Best of Onika. You can check me out on Instagram at Best of JR. You can also check out Onika's works on onikadainty.com. If you're listening to us on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts,
give us a 5. We deserve a 5.
Thank you so much. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please subscribe. Leave us some feedback. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud or any other platform, please subscribe. Give us a like. Give us some feedback. We truly appreciate it. I want to shout out Michael Boateng, our guest last week on All Kinds of Crazy.
Hi, Michael.
Thank you so much for being on the episode last week. We truly appreciate it. If you haven't,
truly do.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to it, please go check it out. Last week's All Kind of Crazy, the family perspective
with Michael Boateng.
Yeah, definitely. So that's it for me. Anything else for you?
No, that's it for the day. I hope y'all have a very, very, very happy hump day.